So my friend brought his '03 Redfire Mustang GT down to my town where I live. He's about 4 or 5 hours away, and he came down to visit, and that's always fun when I have friends come into town, and we wanted to get together and hang out. And so if you know anything about this GT, it was actually one of the first stories I did on the channel. Just a little side note, as we look at these pictures, you can see the Bullet in the garage there and the blue Mach 1. This was at my first house, and I had just got the blue Mach 1 and the Bullet and stuff, and so it's kind of fun to look at these old pictures and see I still had my blue Mach 1 and my blue Bullet even back then, and that they were in the garage tucked away as I had this GT as a project car. So anyway, we'll talk about the GT a little more here. And this was a car my friend owned, and it got wrecked here in town. It wasn't his fault. And then I put the car back together. My friend had sold it to me, and then my sister drove it all through high school for, several thousand miles. And so she had actually put about 60,000 miles on it, and my friend now has put 20,000 miles on it since he's had it. And so we'll talk about that a little bit later here in the video, but this is the drone footage of the car show that was going on. You can see his GT there, and my friend was there with his '03 Sonic Blue Mustang Cobra, and we're going to get together a little bit later and have a little car meet ourselves after the show. And so this is always fun. This was a neat little car show that they do at this auto parts place, and I really like it. Every first Saturday of the month they have this free car show, and you can just come bring your car and enjoy time at the show. And I really like going to this one. That's probably my favorite one of all the events that they do. But here's a nice lineup of cars. You've probably seen a lot of these in my recent car show videos, like that Grabber Yellow GT500 there and more. When you look on the Facebook page of the local car group that does this show, there was a picture of me and my friend with the Redfire GT walking and talking. That was cool. And I did want to mention this Mustang 2 that was at the show, because somebody had commented recently and said, how come you never give any love to the Mustang 2s? So there we go. That one actually has a 5.0 swap in it. It's like an 82 to 93 Mustang 5.0 pushrod engine in there, so that's kind of cool. And so these are some pictures my friend had taken. This is a Celine that's always there. This is my friend's '99 Mustang Cobra that he had just recently purchased. This car is 1 out of 478 with the color options as Rio Red with the medium parchment interior. This is a two-tone Rouge convertible. I believe it was called the Rouge TC. There was one exactly like it here in town for sale that was the supercharged Stage 3 version, and it was sitting on a used car lot back when it was only a year or two old, back in like 2010 or something like that. And I remember sitting in it at the dealership, and the guy had told me that it had just been repossessed, and they got it at auction and they were selling it. And I sat in it, and it had a supercharger and everything. I revved it up and heard the blower whine. You know, the Rouge blowers are really small compared to the Cobra ones. They're like M90s. They're a lot smaller than the M112 on the '03 Cobra, and the M122 on the later GT500s. And then the GT500s got the 2.3 liter TVS, and even the Rouge cars got bigger 2.3 and 2.65 blowers. It was still made nice little supercharger noise and stuff, and it was just interesting to see a car that was so expensive at the time and new, and like the used car lot didn't understand what they really had, and they didn't understand the power that it had. For back then, that was a lot of power, around the 400 range. It was a Rouge, like the 427 option. I mean, that's cool to see that car, and there's a Mach 1 right next to it. Fighter Jet Gray, I believe, is the color on the Mach 1. So anyway, I have these little car meets out at this new spot we like going to, so I told my friend, since you're in town, let's get everyone together and have a little car meet. And it was short notice, so we only had a couple of us show up, but we went to my house first to wash the cars a little bit. And I was looking at these 3 GTs, my silver one, my yellow one, and this Redfire, and it just kind of hit me that these were all my cars at one time. I mean, the other 2 are still mine, but I had saved each of these GTs. All 3 of these cars had been wrecked at some point. So I made a little collage video that showed this. I put it as a YouTube short, but it showed each of these cars. I mean, the yellow one was parted out and wrecked and twisted. I mean, it was nothing left of it really when I got it. The silver one was wrecked really bad as well. And so it was just kind of fun to see all these cars in the driveway and be like, wow, I saved all these cars and they're all here together. And these cars would all have been crushed and gone if it weren't for me saving them, which was fun. So we'll head over to the car meet now. And this is a little clip of my friend's muffler delete on the GT. That GT sounds really good. I really like that. My yellow one has Borlas on it, and it sounds really good too and stuff. So really fun to hear these cars, and both these cars would have been crushed. And so to hear a car drive off like that and get to enjoy what it sounds like, that's music that you can create all day long. It's really sad to think of how many Mustangs like this have been parted out and crushed that could have been saved and could have been enjoyed. And, to this day, I can get in this GT, turn the key, fires up, sounds great, rumble around in it, enjoy it, go out and do donuts in it if I want, burnouts, race it, daily drive it. There's just so much use for a car. And the same goes for the Red Fire GT. And my friend and I talk a lot about that because he was able to get this car knowing the history. He watched the YouTube videos about this car and the story of how this car was wrecked and how I started to part it out and decided to go ahead and put it back together and save it. And if you know me, I make so many videos about saving these cars, and I make a lot of videos that show the ones that get parted out because I want to document the pictures that exist of those cars, especially in sale ads that are going to be gone soon, because once they're gone, those pictures will be gone forever and you'll probably never see them again. And so, but with that, I get this great, deep appreciation and love for these cars, and I want to save as many as I can, and I want to encourage people to save them and take care of them. And it's something that you can just enjoy because once they're gone forever. They stopped making these cars back in 2004, and I mean, this applies to any car, but especially Mustangs that I love so much. And speaking of the Mustangs, this 2003 Sonic Blue Terminator Cobra. This is my friend's car. He bought it brand new. He's the original owner. He still has it. He takes it to track events. We have videos on my channel at Willow Springs, and he has a YouTube channel where he puts his driving at Willow Springs and the GoPro. I'll put those in the description so you can watch some of those videos too and stuff. But this car is absolutely beautiful, and I have two Terminator Cobras that are absolutely beautiful, just like this. And of course, that is the goal, to have such nice cars like that. And I'm very happy I have those. I've worked hard to get them. But I think it also puts me in a different position where once I've secured those cars, now I have these other ones I can play with and save and enjoy. And so it puts it in a whole different perspective than someone who only has one car. And maybe if you have one nice Cobra like this, then you don't care about other cars. But for me, it's made it so that I can secure those two. I have them. I enjoy them, I love them, and then I can play around with the other cars that are considered the lesser cars, the lesser trim models, the GTs that are a little more common and stuff like that. But you look at this beautiful original owner Sonic Blue Terminator and you think, what a nice car. And then you think about things like this. This is Chris Sullivan's Sonic Blue Terminator, higher mileage car. He bought it pretty run down, and he's working on it, and he just discovered that the bottom end of the engine was totally destroyed, spun bearings and stuff all in the bottom end, destroyed. And so he's taking the time and money to put this car back together, where a lot of people would have parted it out because they can sell all the parts and it would be easier. And so I actually messaged him when I saw this post. I've been watching his series on YouTube, and I said, hey, I really appreciate what you do. I love your content, and, good job being a real man and putting that car back together and saving it instead of just parting it out like a lot of people do. Yes, I understand that if you get to a point where the engine's destroyed and you don't have the money to fix it, you look at your options, and a lot of people will say, I could sell the bumpers, I could sell the wheels, I could sell the T56, I could sell the spoiler, I could sell the folding mirrors, the seats, and I can make my money back pretty easily without putting work into it. Now, there's a lot of work that people don't think about when they're parting it out, and their time and effort and dealing with hagglers and, all, breaking stuff, trying to get the pieces off the car too, but there's a lot of work involved that I think people don't understand, but it's the cheaper option than spending the money to put this car back on the road and saving it. And so I just, messaged him and said, hey, I really appreciate what you do there, because as you know, I've put these cars back together and I could have just made money parting them out, but I saved them. So when you see this beautiful Sonic Blue Terminator here that my friend has, you think about, it's a nice one owner, beautiful car, no issues with it. I mean, nothing like major, of course, every car is going to have maintenance things that need to be kept on. But when you look at this car, you think, wow, what a beautiful car, and it's very desirable. So then you think about when people part these cars out, they're taking that away from the world. They're taking away something that if it was in nice shape, they would do everything they can to get. And Sonic Blue has become one of the more sought after colors, and the prices of these have gone up. These and the Mistachrome and Competition Orange are among the three most desirable and higher value Terminator Cobras that are out there. So it's fun to watch Chris's YouTube videos on fixing that car and then experiencing this one in perfect shape. Being out here was really nice. I love this part of the neighborhood. This is just near my house where we like to meet. And it's fun to get together and hang out with good car people who all get along, who all have the same type of love for these cars. And, I have an American muscle car page here that's just a private group for local people only, and I enjoy muscle cars. Camaro, Firebird, Mustang, Corvette, anything American like that is in our club, and so it's fun to come out here and enjoy this stuff. There are local car clubs that have their own meets and their own squabbles, and they don't get along, and people are kind of jerks, and a lot of them just hate the Mustangs anyway, and so I've tried to go to some of those car meets, and they're just a huge letdown. And so when I have meets like this, it just brings a lot of hope to how fun the car community can be with good people who all want to get along and all want to have a good time, and who aren't going to hate you for the type of car you have. And so I love my car meets. You've seen a couple of them on the channel if you watch, and we just have so much fun. Everybody's talking, everybody's having great conversations. I hear the other conversations going on, and I want to be part of those conversations too, because they're saying things I'm interested in, and everyone is just so awesome. So here's some of the light of the back of the GT I was kind of talking about. It was just so perfect on that zinc yellow. It was so bright. And my friend and I were looking at the car, and my friend said, man, you saved this car. It's such a nice car now. It's not perfect by any means, but it is so nice to have this car around to enjoy. And I just wanted to mention that all these still shot pictures in this video we're watching were taken by him and his girlfriend. So I want to thank them for sending those pictures over. It's really nice to have some good pictures of the car. So we went back to my house. He took a couple pictures in the garage, and then he needed to head out. So it was a fun little meet, and this is just a little bit of what I get to experience. So I just wanted to share that with everyone and just post this up and stuff. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more Mustang content.